JC starts out by saying that he grew up in a poor community, grew up with a poor mindset, and I very much relate to that. I grew up in the same way. We both grew up with um, necessarily if not immigrants ourselves, and being the children of immigrants or people who recently just relocated almost every aspect of their life to be in another country. Um, so I understand the sacrifice that comes with it, and also when you're in those states of being, it's surviving is key, right? And knowing how to survive, especially in this industry, is not just about knowing when to pull your money out. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't get the case, you don't even get the ability to take your money out depending on where you have your money, right? Uh,
Yep.
and we've learned that over the course of the last couple of weeks, right? But again, to be able to provide something for people who don't necessarily have the means, people who are maybe dealing with a lot of let's say limitations because they're in another country, because they're in another and where the government is a lot more heavily involved in the way that they do finance. This type of
Yeah.
education is uh, paradigm shifting.
Yeah. I mean, think about you look at inflation is not just happening in the United States, right? I mean, you have inflation. Argentina's Argentinian pesos are down, or I think it's down like 94% of its value right now this year. Like it's inflated another like 94%. Turkey's inflation is like 70%. You look at, I think I had the list saved on my phone. I think I might have saved it. But it was like some astronomical. I mean, like some countries, like they're in people's entire financial livelihood is gone. Like overnight, their currency literally has lost so much of its value. And you may think like, oh, well, well, how significant is that? Imagine like you spend your entire life working, and you have money put away, and all of a sudden, a third of that money is gone. If you quantify that into years, you just lost maybe 15, maybe you spent 40 years working, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, how significant is a 30% drop? Well, you just lost 15, 15, 12 and a half years of your work life just disappear because somebody decided to push a bunch of buttons and print a bunch of money. Right? Somebody decided to irresponsibly print money and do all this stuff like that. That's what happened to you, right? Like people don't realize that like these things, like inflation is not a great thing. In some countries it's devastating. And so like this is the time when you really got to buckle down and go, okay, like it's serious time. We for the for the first time in humanity, we are witnessing a shift in the financial system, right? We saw a shift in the industrial era, right, with the when the creation of the locomotive and steam powered engines, and eventually led to automobiles, and eventually led to gas powered engines, and right. So you saw that shift, right? Then you saw the technology shift, right? People went from black and white TVs to color TVs, so the introductions to the telephone, then cell phone, like cell phones, the internet, email. And then you saw the introduction of the second phase of the internet, right? The evolution of the social era, the social information era, where it's just everything is about data collection, and these companies mining your data and selling it, and it's crazy. Like you can Google anybody right now, and you can find so much information about people by just Googling their name.
Yeah.
Like that should not be allowed. You can
Mhm.
find people's home addresses, you can find their phone numbers, you can find where they went to school, you can find where they work at. Like all this information is just out there. Like there's no privacy anymore, and it's not, you don't even have to be smart. You can just literally type in somebody's name on Google, and with a little bit of research you can find out so much about this person. So that that shift, that changed everything, right? And now you're going into the digital era, the cashless society era, right? The central bank digital currency era. the world as we know it is never going to look the same. Like 2020 was literally like that shift. I call it like that glitch in the matrix that broke into two different timelines. Like
Yeah.
there was like a world without COVID, and there's the world, post COVID. And like if COVID was never introduced, think about it, $13 trillion would have never been printed. Like the economy would have been a completely different, like probably Trump would have been reelected. Like so many things would have probably happened differently, right? If you think about that. And then you have the post-COVID world where the $13 trillion were printed, like, right, and all these things happen. Like that's a crucial moment in history.
A fork in the
Like
road.
that's a crucial moment. It's a fork in the road for humanity, and people don't realize that we ended up probably the short end of the stick. We got the pandemic, we got the inflation, we got the worst of all the worst things that could have happened is what we got, right? So now we're in this era where the financial systems are reinventing themselves. Technologies, artificial intelligence, all these, like then the next phase of the internet is the AI phase. If you have to be blind as a rock to not realize those PFP AIs, like those profile pictures AIs that are circulating around Facebook, like where you just upload your photos and they create AI versions of you. Like you think that's fun and games, but that software is literally learning every time you upload a photo, is literally learning and becoming better and smarter, and is reporting all that data back to a centralized server that's communicating with other AI software. And before you know it, like you're going to have the introduction of like Singularity, which is just a computer that can think and speak and act on its own. And you can just conversate with it. It has its own personality. It talks back to you, right? And that's coming. I mean, I think it's coming in the next decade. And so,
yeah, I think it's already here.
yeah, I mean, it's just publicly not out there, right? But I think it's in some. There's some government lab that's already has the birth of this Singularity, and they're interacting with it. And there's going to come a time where it's literally like the Terminator type of deal. Like you have the Skynet going live and Skynet takes control of everything. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's almost inevitable at this point. And when you think about what are you doing to prepare yourself, from an educational standpoint, what are you doing? Like, or are you just going to go, well, I'm just going to trust that the government's going to do what's best for me. Oh, well, I'm just going to trust that my employer is going to be there next year. Like, so many people are about to lose their jobs, and it sucks and it's sad. Small businesses are about like the concentration of corporations over the next 10 years are going to be unlike anything you've ever seen before. Our food supply is already controlled by like 3 major corporations. Eventually it'll be controlled by 1 major corporation that literally supplies like 90% of all the foods. Like you're gonna have, one tech company that controls all of the web traffic, most of the internet, all of the, like whoever innovates fast enough is going to absorb everything around it, right? And you're seeing that already happening. And if you don't prepare yourself for this, if you don't position yourself to invest, you don't position yourself to be aware of, of things to do to take care of yourself financially, you're gonna be that person that's, unfortunately, like I was growing up, and like I was during difficult times in my life, where I'm at the cash register and I'm like, can I buy this? Yeah, no, I have $100 in my bank account, and my cell phone bill is going to come out in 2 days. And that's 30. Okay. No, yeah, I can't buy this. I have to put this back. And that's going to become the life of the average American. Like the average American is going to be like, I can't afford it. I literally can't afford it. So we want to create a platform and a vehicle to prepare people for this type of events, educate them financially, and give them a chance to actually compete in the new world.
Yeah, and you heard it already. It's about doing a live training. It's about getting access to the education. It's about learning. not just what's happening, but what to do about it,
Yeah, community.
and coming together with other people who are learning, who have learned, who are actively learning, and actively supporting others in the pursuit of that education.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing to see. I can't wait to see the STF Academy community grow even further. Um, I know for me, it's finding a lot more people like me in the community, and we're attracting a lot more people like us. So uh,
Yeah.
all good people, so that's a good thing. So yeah, I actually just commented on here. So if you're watching this or watching the replay, we're hosting a Zoom call tomorrow with our community, actually to talk about a little bit further, more of the recap. We're going to look at some of the success that we've had internally as a company, just recapping what we've been able to accomplish as a community, celebrate some people, and go a little bit further about what's coming 2023 when it comes to SDF Academy, our Fast Start course, which is live now, 15 free modules. We'll be talking about the live training, the live masterclass that we're launching next month, and all the other new cool things and launches and new campaigns that are starting in 2023, brother. So, again, the link is there. Any last words, brother? Because I know you have to get back to your family as well.
Yeah, no, just my I guess my plea, my call to action is, look in the comments below, just register. You have literally nothing to lose. I mean, we give away free courses, right? We have free content that you can just consume for free. But think about it, like, who are you surrounding yourself with during these times? Like, are you surrounding yourself with people that are in the same situation as you and are headed down the same negative spiral as you? Or are you surrounding yourself with people that are making moves, growing, expanding their minds, making money, and actually flourishing during these types of, during these type of economic times? Because, like, that's really what I think the real value of our community comes in, right? Is you're surrounding yourself with people that are promoting you, growing with you, and have the same mindset. And I love that you said that. So, register, come check out STF Academy. Come check out our webinar tomorrow. Pick our brains, ask questions. Just go out there and be active. And there's no reason to be shy. There's no such thing as a stupid question. There's just the unknown, right? It's just what you don't know. So just asking these questions will get you started on this journey. Just asking simple questions of, like, hey, how do I get started? Like, what do I do next, guys? Like, help me out. And that's fine. It's fine to ask for help during these times. It's the people that don't ask for help that are going to struggle the most. I promise you, the people that don't ask for help and try to figure this out all on their own are going to struggle the most. They're going to spend the most money. They're going to waste the most money, because you're going to make mistakes and go through lessons that all of us have already gone through, and can already walk you through and say, don't do that. No, we've already done that. We've already tried that. So, oh yeah, come check out STF Academy. Thank you, Josmar, for putting this together. We're going to continue to do more lives and talk about more subjects. And eventually, hopefully, there'll be hundreds of people tuning in every day when we hop on. And so for now, we just are extremely grateful for the handful that do. So
Yes.
have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Josmar. Have a great day, brother.